Hello, I think we are live. I need to check that real quick. Am I live? Can you guys hear me? Once again, we got ChatGPT up on the board. We've got Advent of Code on the board. Can I hear myself on YouTube? Once again, we got ChatGPT. There you go. We're all set up for the stream. Very good evening to everyone. How is everyone doing? And as usual, there's not many people watching on the start of the stream, but if you are watching, please give myself a like because it does help me out quite a lot. And in today's stream, we're going to be doing a few things, right? I realized I'm kind of behind in the advent of code. I'm going to be catching up with this. So in the last stream, we went through. Hello, Testdev. How is it going, dude? Welcome to the stream. I don't think I've seen your name here before, unless you've gone by a different username in the past. But welcome. Yeah, last stream we went through 2 exercises on the advent of code. And we're now on day 6, I think, right? Day 6? I don't even know. Let's see. Yeah, we're on day 6. So we basically have to do like a couple of these exercises every stream so we can catch up. So I should be caught up in the next stream, hopefully, or the one after that. And as well as that, I'm going to be doing some C++ development because I figured out that we can actually get C++ module support in Clangd version 19, which means that VS Code now supports C++ modules. So if you are kind of interested in seeing how that works, yeah, stick to the stream and we'll be showing you guys how to do that later. Not much of a chatter, but I appreciate the content. Hello, dude. Hello, VQ7. Dude, we are getting all the OGs here. Yeah, so I actually completed part 2 of the second day on my own because it wasn't too difficult and I didn't want to, do that on the stream. I just literally did it like 10 minutes ago. And now we're moving on to day 3. Again, we're going to be doing this in Rust. I have created a Git repository for my solutions. If you guys want to see it, the link is on the description of the video. So let's get started, right? So our computers are having issues. Again, I'm not a massive fan of these like backstories to the problems. I wish they just kept it a little bit more concise. And we could get straight to the problem, but we're going to read it anyway. Day 6 part 2 is torturing me. I can't wait to get to that one, dude. Backstories suck. Yeah, the backstories suck, don't they? It's good if you want to if you're into reading stories, but if you just want to get to coding, it kind of sucks a little bit. And sometimes you have to read all of it so you can get the context. But I bet you that I can probably skip the first 3 paragraphs here and get straight to the problem. But we're going to read the whole thing anyway. Our computers are having issues, so I have no idea if we have any chief historian in stock. You're welcome to check the warehouse though. It says the mildly flustered shopkeeper at the North Pole toboggan rental shop. What the hell even is that? The historians head out to take a look. The shopkeeper turns to you. Any chance you can see why our computers are having issues again? The computer appears to be trying to run a program, but its memory, your puzzle input, is corrupted. All of the instructions have been jumbled up. It seems like the goal of the program is to multiply some numbers. It does that with instructions like multiply x and y, where x and y are each 1, 2, 3 digit numbers. This might be important. For instance, multiply 44, 46 multiplies 44 by 46 to get a result of 2024. Similarly, multiply 123 by 4 would simply multiply 123 by 4. However, because the program memory has been corrupted, there are also many invalid characters that should be ignored, even if they look like part of a multiply instruction. Sequences like mo 4 star mo 6, 9 question mark, or this do nothing. For example, consider the following sections of corrupted memory. Multiply this, we got one there, an invalid one here, a valid one there, even though it doesn't seem to be a valid instruction. An invalid one. Okay. So only the 4 highlighted sections are multiply instructions. Adding up the result of each instruction produces 161. So I guess our job is to find all the valid ones and then kind of do the operation and then give out the sum of the result, right? Which kind of looks to me like a regex problem, to be honest. Scan the corrupted memory for uncorrupted mo instructions. What do you get if you add up all the results? Yeah, it's exactly a regex problem from the looks of it. Sometimes they confuse me and make me solve the task. Yeah, exactly. It's what I said. I could have skipped to here, right? I was right. I could have skipped straight to this and then done the problem straight away. Part 1 is sum of all products denoted by multiply. Part 2, wait, I'm not going to read, but I'm guessing that part 2, you have to correct some of these, right? Is that correct? Part 2, include parsing do and don't to toggle a switch. Okay, here's the non-story TLDR. Regex could work for sure. AOC loves rejexes, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. So we got to figure out, like, do we use regex here, which probably is the best shot, at least for part 1, right? Or do we do a non-regex? Because, you know, non-regex is also very easy. So you just scan this string until you find, like, mo or something like that. And if you find a correct string, as in, like, if you keep going and you reach the closing braces and it makes sense, then you have a non-regex way of doing it, which is actually probably going to be much, much faster than the regex approach, right? But it also will take a lot longer because it's going to be more more code for me to write. So I'm probably just going to do regex, and I wrote a parser, but I think regex also works. In Rust, regex is a crate, I think. Yeah, so I'm gonna definitely be looking at regex in Rust for sure. I'm not gonna chat GPT here because I have used regex in Rust before, and I just want to see how you compile regex in Rust. So, is this a standard library crate or something that I have to include? Yeah, something that I have to include. So just as a little bit of context, I have here, oh no, I've created a GitHub repo for this, right? So every project is its own Rust crate, essentially. And we have here what we call a workspace in Rust. So the main workspace just includes the sub projects, right? So I'm going to create one for day 3. We're going to go into the, in fact, remove -rf day 3. We're going to do cargo new day 3, and we're going to set VCS to none here. Okay, and we should now have that in the workspace as well, because cargo does that automatically for us, right? Yeah, there you go. So day 3 was automatically included in the member of the workspace. We have everything running here. This is from the other exercise I was doing. Right. So you wrote a parser. I would definitely love to see the parser code. If you drop the link to me on Discord after I finish this one, we can look at your solution, VQ7. Cargo add regex. Yeah, I will do a cargo add regex for sure. I myself did one cargo, and then sauce bin. It works like a charm. Honestly, don't know workspaces are such a thing until today. Same link as always. Honestly, didn't know. Oh yeah. So we had I only know about it because I used to work on a massive Rust project like a year ago, where we had essentially like 10 different crates within the same like Git repository, and workspaces let you basically have a bunch of crates in one place and compile all of them at once when you do a cargo build. So yeah, it's useful for that. That's what I can say. I'm not a massive, as you can probably tell, I'm not a massive like Rust head. Like I don't really know many things in Rust. I don't know the standard library very well, to be honest. I used to, but I forgot most of it, to be honest, because I have been away from Rust for too long now. Hence why I'm doing this in Rust, so I can like regain that knowledge. But yeah, I mean, check out the workspaces. Same link as always. Yeah, I think I've got your link from last time, right? So we'll definitely check that out. Yeah. So should we start? First of all, let's look at the input, because there's always some like input parsing that we need to do. This seems to me that it's just a massive text file, which is fine. So we're going to use the same pattern of including the string and then just running regex over this. I'm going to have to do some reading on regex here because I don't know how to use it, but I do know that we're going to have to include that in day 3, right? So day 3, we're going to have to do a cargo add regex, and we should have that now. Access to us on day 3's main thing. So just to make sure, use, is it regex? Regex, there you go. So we have regex there. I have used this crate before. It's been a long time though, but I have used them. I just need to to freshen up on the memory. So we create a new regex by compiling the pattern and unwrapping it. Another thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start working with errors as well. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some error handling stuff, just because it might make our functions easier when you return results. So I'm going to include a crate that I always use, which is, what is it called again? Anyhow, that's the one. So anyhow basically lets you use Rust results a little bit nicer. So like you can just pass results up the stack, even if they're not the same like result types. Anyhow, yeah, that's the one. So that's what we're going to be doing, right? Oh, I forgot to turn on monetization on the video. Let me take a look at that real quick. The monetization is on. Let YouTube do this. Okay, right. Just before I get like 0 money for this stream. Yeah. So now we have use anyhow result as well. There you go. And what I like to do is to have a function which is called try main here, and that will return a. In fact, let's not use it, not to confuse anyhow result. Oh, anyhow result. There you go. So why does that not work? Mismatch types, anyhow result expected. Okay, yeah. Why did I do this? Well, because I can now just have a match here, right? Where I can, in fact, I can have the try main being called here. So try main, and I can match that against an OK value, which is just going to say, you know, print line finished successfully. Or if we have an error, what is okay here? Okay. Yeah, so we just forgot to match it properly. And now we just need the other arm here. So error. And then we're going to do a ePrint line or something like that. ePrint line and say finished with error. There you go. That should implement display, I think, so we should be able to do that. But we can just put all the main code here and then just like say that we had something that used that through an error in this case. So we call a function whatever, like get matches, right? Probably going to be what it's called. If that returns a result, we can just do this and then proceed, right? We don't have to like handle the error in here, and this will just like handle all the errors in one place for us, which is kind of nice. Right, back to the chat. There's also Minot, I think, which is colored, not 100% sure. Miet. Oh, I literally prints the code line which had error. Oh, that's nice. I'll take a look at that one. I've not seen that one in the past. Miet Rust. There are a few alternatives to anyhow. I just never use them. You run Miet, you run code like software. Oh, error. Okay, nice. Let's see what this does. So it seems to print a stack trace, which is kind of nice. I like it. Yeah, anyhow does not do that, of course. Anyhow is like, it's more so you can kind of unify the error handling, in my opinion. That's what I use that library for anyway. This is when you run, this seems to be like a lot more diagnostics based. So if you want like a full stack trace, you do this, right? Which is cool. Oh, it literally prints the code. Okay, didn't miss anything. Anyway, let's continue. So we're going to create regex real quick. So first of all, let's have in our try main, right? Let's read the input. So reading the input here. We want to read the input. I'm just going to drop down what I want to do so I don't forget. Read the input, analyze the matches, or get all matches with regex, and apply the multiply operation. Now this has twofold, right? So we actually need to extract A and B integers within the match for sure, and call the multiply O. Multiply each A and B to get a result, right? That's what we kind of want to do here. Hello, GTX. How's it going, dude? Good to see you. As always, GTX, good to see you. You don't miss a single stream, man. And I very, very much appreciate that. And one day, if I make it big, I will give you a little shout out on the stream. Don't worry about it. Not that will ever happen, but yeah. Anyway. Yeah, so let's just return OK here for now, because otherwise we don't get rid of that. Now, this is why we do the interesting thing, right? So we want include string here. And this is going to be my input, right? So my input will be this. I'm just going to put it in input dot or day3.in. I'm going to create a new file here for the input itself. So day3.rs. Oh, no, not .rs. .in. We're going to copy that input, which is there. Paste it here. There you go. It's all a single. There are new lines, which is interesting. So we have to... I think regex won't care if there's new lines, right? You'll just look at all of them. But we save that. We have the input. Now we have to get all the matches with regex, right? So maybe all of this should be in a function called part1. Or in fact, get multiply, get mo instructions, right? And we are going to give the input in, which is going to be a string. I'm going to return an anyhow result of a vector, shall we say, of strings as well, right? Why not? In fact, string like that, because I want it to own the buffer. Collab with YouTube, Twitch. Yeah, dude. I need to set up Twitch. I don't know how people stream on multiple platforms at the same time. Maybe there's a software that does that, but it's working out on YouTube for me, and it's more admin if I want to stream on Twitch as well. I believe you'll make it if you make a proper schedule. That's the thing, GTX. This is my biggest problem. When it comes to streaming and making content, I am extremely, what's the word? I'm just not consistent. And I can't get consistent because I have like things to do on the day. I have obviously work, which takes a huge chunk of my day, of my time. And sometimes I have like a commitment after work, which means like I have to cancel a stream or whatever. So planning ahead for me is the biggest problem. But I'll tell you what, if I ever get fired one day, don't worry, because I'm going to be streaming full time. I multi-stream on Twitch. Yeah, Toast Dev, his PC can't handle it. You can use Restream. Ooh, okay. I'm gonna note that down. I'm definitely gonna note that down. So, all right. So Restream, right? Where can I put it? Software to look at. We have Restream. Handle streaming to multiple platforms, right? Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. If it requires me to have a good PC, then I might not be able to do it. I need to buy a new PC. +1 on Restream. Nice. Thank you very much, guys. Loving the recommendations. Yeah, so let's just return a vector here. Now, this is where we actually create the thing, right? So this is where we have to do a let regex, and that's going to be a regex. New, and then we have the pattern here, right? So let pattern. Let's create it as a raw string here. Now, what do we want to find out? We want to find out mole. Ooh, do we have to do that? I think we do. Now, digit. Ooh, here we go. Once in a lifetime, looking at regex. Regex cheat sheet. That's what we want to do. I could do like 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 9, 3 or 4 times, but there's also a digit thing in here, right? So digit, right, digit. No, digit. There you go, dash D. So dash D, I want it to be like at least once up to 3 times, right? So there is something to do here, I believe. Assertions, no. Oh my god, how many adverts can you get in a single website? Look at this. This is driving me crazy. You can't have good old cheat sheet websites anymore without Google Ads like spamming every single thing on your screen. There you go, they've all disappeared. Now they're here again. Use regex 101. Could be wrong. It's probably multiply 0 to 9. Yeah, so probably uBlock origin. I could use uBlock, but the thing is, I have a website that also runs ads, so I kind of like to test it on it. So I never installed that. But yeah, I wish I did it. Yeah, so digit seems to work, but I'm not sure if digit is 0 to 9. Yeah, maybe it'll be explicit here. So 0 to 9 for sure. One or more times, but one or more. 3 or one or more. 3 exactly. Oh, there you go. 3 exactly, 3 or more. 3, 4, or 5. Right, so we want this 1, 2, 3 in here. We want a comma and also 0 to 9. 1, 2, 3, right? And that is it. This is what we want to do. Now, is that going to run on the whole thing? That's what I wonder here. So either... Okay. Now, I want to test this. I definitely want to test it on regex test. There's a regex test website. Yeah, there you go. Regex 101. That's what you're just saying, right? I always use this, in fact. Like, whenever it comes up, regex comes up at work, I always test it here. So what we actually did is mo. We do this, and then we had 0 to 9, 1, 2, 3, and then a comma, 0 to 9, 1, 2, 3. Ooh. There you go. So if I run this on the advent of code string, or maybe a substring of that, right? Maybe just that. Do we get the right stuff? It seems like we do, right? It seems like we are getting the right ones. So this should do. Yeah. Let's run this now and see, right? Now, what is this going to return me? New pattern. That returns a result, right? Yeah, so this is what's nice about this. I can do that. And anyhow is going to, like, put the arrow up the stack, which is kind of what I want. And now what we need to do is, there's a knitter, find knitter, there you go, function that will actually run it on the input string. I don't know what the result is, the result type, but we're going to find out. So it returns matches. What if I do collect? Is that a thing? So it returns a vector of match. But I don't want a vector of match. I want a vector of the actual strings, right? So how do I do that? So I guess instead of collecting right now, can I do a map here? And this is obviously the match. M.start owned. Can I borrow clone start range to owned? What does that do? No. I want to get a string out of this, basically. I used this site today to reform some vertex for parsing. Nice site because it has a list, substitution, and order, search functions. Yeah, it is a nice site for sure. Like, it's probably one of the best tools that I use for regex, to be honest. Because you should always test a regex before you implement it. Yeah, so how do I actually get the string? There you go. That's going to return me as a string. To string. There you go. So we have the string. That's kind of what we want to do here. All right, so we definitely want to run that. We want to map it as well. And at the very end, we probably want to do a collect here to the vector type that we wanted, right? A vector of string, yeah. And that's exactly what we are returning. So we return an OK. Oop, OK of all of that. And there's not much more to it. That's it. This is basically it. To get the instructions, that is. So here we have all of the valid instructions. And we're not obviously not using that. Ooh. Okay. Regex is good, but it can be very slow. Yeah, that's the thing with regex. So as a general advice is, like, this is coming from someone who has worked with projects that were like littered with regex, like from the top to bottom, basically. It is very slow, especially if you're doing it in C++. So if you can, try and solve a problem without regex first. And if it is just as simple as something like this, you can definitely do it without regex. You're just looking for a particular like substring that matches a pattern that's very, very easy to do without regex. Then do that way if it's like performant code anyway. Because the amount of bugs you open yourself up to if you have regex, like my regex is, I haven't really tested it very well. Like it could be that there's like a particular substring here that will pass the regex, but is not necessarily valid in this context. Like you have to do so much testing in production to make sure that it works fine. It makes it almost like you basically have to think twice whenever you use rejexes or regex in production code. That's what I can say. Which is why most people avoid it. Search for it. Yeah. Right, search for what? Did I miss anything? Regex is good. I think there are methods to convert it into a state machine. Those are really good. Okay. So you mean like a compilation of it? Which, yeah, definitely would be a really cool thing in Rust if you can turn the regex into just a state machine code. Well, it doesn't say it here on the... Yeah, usually that's called compile, right? There you go. Oh, this will compile it. This regex builds permits setting a non-default configuration. Yeah, I'm not sure if compiling here means that it's going to turn it into a state machine. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Anyway, by the way, if you guys just tuned into this stream, welcome. And like the video, please. That helps me out quite a lot. Continuing. So we got instructions. Now we have to actually get the values, right? So this is actually very easy because at this point, if I just run this, right, we should, let's just print something here to print line. Number of valid instructions, just so we're using it somewhere. Okay, so here we have instructions.len, right? Something like that. I just want to call this and see what happens, right? So we've got try main. The try main is doing that. Let's put a breakpoint right here. Let's debug our project and then see if we actually have something that resembles what we expect, right? So we're compiling here. And here we go, valid instructions. It didn't, oh, something didn't work. An open group. There you go. So straight off the bat, I have a error here in my pattern, which I've now fixed. And let's see if that compiles now. Okay, so that actually does run. So, okay, it kind of looks like it's valid, right? So we've got all the valid stuff. Now, when I said that it's easy now, I wasn't joking, because now we can kind of, you can see how we can get the numbers out of it. So we just have to remove the first 4 characters and the last one, and then split on the comma. It's just as easy as that, right? So we're probably going to create a new function to do that, just to keep things a little bit readable and I don't lose my head. So get numbers. Here we assume that we pass a valid multiply instruction string, right? So something like multiply 444 or 333 and 666, right? Something like that. So get numbers, we're going to pass in the string, which is just a input, and it's going to be a string. We're going to return a result. Of I32 and I32, right? Easy as that. And it should be anyhow result, for that matter. You can speed up regex. You can just use capture groups for that. I will take a look at that. I don't think I've used it before. Also, I have a little drink here with me, but I'm not allowed to show it. So I might turn off my camera every now and then, and I hope you guys are fine with that. But yeah, I'm drinking water so far though. You can't show certain things on YouTube, which is kind of annoying, I know. But because this is a family-friendly stream, I just gotta do that. Right. So this is what we want to do, right? So we first remove the mo start part of the string, or the multiply this section, then remove the end this. We should probably do some asserts here as well, right? Yeah, let's not even assert it. So we just like, we make sure that the string starts with the pattern. There you go. So it starts with that, right? So if we do not start with that, we're going to return the error, right? So we're just going to bail, in fact. Bail string does not start with mo. That's what we want to do here. And same thing, ends with, right? So we want to do import.ends with. We don't really need to do all this error handling. I just like doing it because at least we get to see, you know, if it comes to this function and we hit one of these errors, we can see that the rejects didn't work quite well. And to be honest, I don't trust my rejects. That's why I'm doing this. Using capture groups will save you a lot of work time. What are capture groups? Jesus, why don't I know what capture groups are? Let's take a look. Capture groups, rejects, Rust. Ah, I see. So like when you actually match the pattern. I see, yeah. I see what you mean. I have seen this before, yeah. Captures toady on rat. Captures first, 2. So you basically, it's what's on the bracket. Ah, yeah. Okay, yeah, this would definitely save me a lot of time. Thank you very much. Now let's see. So this rejects has 4 capture groups. The group index 0 corresponds to the overall match, is present in every match, and never has the same name, and never has a name. The group index 1 with name first corresponds to the first letter. Okay, corresponds to the first letter. So this is how you do a capture group, I guess. So maybe the group index 2 with no name corresponding to the second letter. So you just basically put that, right? Yeah, let's do that. Why not? This will definitely save me a lot of time. Thank you very much for the suggestion. It just parentheses. Yeah. So basically just this, right? I want to do a named one. Caps first, right? So I just have to do this and I guess that, right? So something like A there. And then I can do this. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, so this function just becomes like get multiply pairs, and that is it. This is what we're going to rename it to. We don't have to go to do this, which is indeed going to save me a lot of time. And this now returns a vector of tuples i32 and i32. Thank you very much, guys. That is definitely going to help me. So we map that to the string. We map as wait. We just found captures re captures. Okay. Re dot captures. toady.unwrap. Okay, yeah. So let's do a capture here. So captures, re.captures, input there, and that will return me an option, right? So in this case, we can give it context for sure. Wrap the error value with additional context. Could not find yeah, and I can do that right now. There you go. Yeah, this is much nicer than whatever I was doing before. So thank you. So we now have captures. Finally, something that Matt is bad at bearing code while talking. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm very bad at rejects. I mean, if you've noticed that, I'm terrible at rejects. I just hate rejects, to be honest. Right. So this is a capture, right? Captures. A cap. Now, once I have the captures, oh, no. So this is the match. Is it a match? Captures, 30 captures. Wait. Let me see. So this, I guess this is an iterator of captures, right? And what do we have here? What is this? Ah, we need to call liter on that. That's why. Yeah, there you go. So map C. Option of what though? It doesn't say me what the option is. You will want captures iter probably. Interesting. Oh yeah. Captures iter. You're probably correct, yeah. I want to find all of them, so captures. Now what is that? I just want to get rid of this for the first instance. No context anymore. Oh, okay, so now I get a captures match. Better, definitely better. So I've got captures dot map. A, what is A? A is a captures object, right? Yeah. Now I can do, I guess, C. Or in fact, yeah, let's move that to C. CA and then CB. In theory, that would work, right? Or maybe not. The size of values of type string cannot be known at compile time. What? That is interesting. Requires before it appears with that and that. Now I'm confused again. Let's see how it's used. Probably need to pass them into i32. Yeah, probably do, but like I don't see why right now, because I'm not returning the test. I'm just saving it into an intermediate thing. But if we did parse into i32, parse into i32 here, yeah, then it does work. Interesting. Still not clear what type this is, yeah. So we have the captures there. It's going to collect into a vector, so at least the type is a little bit more visible to me, for sure. So that is actually saving. This is actually mapping each capture to a i36, a vector of a tuple of results. but I can do this. No. Oh yeah, no, we can't use that within a closure. Damn it. What if I just wanted to keep it as a string though? Because at this point, I want my test to kind of be a vector of just string here and string here. Right? That's kind of what I want to do. Hello, Carlos. Dude, we're getting all the OGs here. Dear Redemption, hello, Al. How's it going, dude? Good evening, good evening. Never done an advent code. Too dumb to understand the questions. No, dude, I'll tell you what, you're too dumb to understand the backstory. If you go straight to the questions, it's easy. Trust me. That's what I was just discussing at the beginning of the stream. Like, the backstories is just too much. Hello, Sop. How's it going? Good night. You're already going to bed, dude. You just joined us. You're not going to hang out for a bit. And AOC inputs are always sanitized, meaning unwrap is just fine. Ah, okay. So I can actually unwrap it. That is a true point, yeah. Because we made sure that the capture is a number. This is fine, for sure. Yeah, still I don't like this. It's a little bit too, I don't know what the word is, but it's weird. It's just too cumbersome for me to do this. Really, really cumbersome. But yeah, I mean, we can definitely wrap this in an okay. And then just return that instead. Right? We can just do that for sure. Right. So this is now get multiply pairs. And basically we've solved the problem with like very, very few lines of Rust. Does it work? I don't know. But we are gonna definitely try and debug this at the very least, right? It's Friday, unless Poland is in another dimension. They are, dude. They're in the economic growth dimension. That's what they're in. So, see, now we have 0. We didn't get a single... What? We didn't get a single valid instruction, apparently. This is suspicious. What have I done wrong here? What have I done wrong? Yeah, let's see what the capture is getting, because I'm not entirely sure. No way. Java shell is Polish too. Yeah, dude is Polish. Right. What am I actually getting here? Like, I am completely oblivious now. I'm gonna take a drink here, so I might turn off the camera real quick. Can't really show this to you guys, especially when there are under 18s here. But I'm still here. Anyway. Yeah, just really odd. Like, well, before my drink, actually, what the hell are we getting here? So captures. Can I just map to whatever string they are? So capture, what do we have here? C dot string match. Nope. Right, the first person to tell me what I need to write here to get from a capture to the whole like match wins the race. Go on. You should be coding in Java, by the way. No, I disagree. I disagree. Bro has drunk potion of invisibility. No, not that potion, but yeah. Right, I'm back now. Loving the comments though. Yeah, I was drinking some milk, basically. Just put it that way. Yeah, so go on. No one came up with a line of code that I need to write to actually get from capture to the whole thing. Well, I'm going to find out now. So test. So what if I do a... Is iterant? No, iter is already there. What if I just map the capture to the 0th one, the whole thing? Does that not work? It doesn't work. The size of value string cannot be known. Okay. Oh, I just had... Okay, yeah. All right. Interesting. I just had to buffer the string instead of using the C string. But anyway, so we've got like a way to find what matches we've got. And I'm going to do the same thing for test 1, where I'm going to say what the first one is and what the second one is. Because I don't know, right? So that's debugged, isn't he? Seems like you are done, no? Yeah, seems like I was done too, but I had zero elements coming through. Oh, I have an error. So captures map, move a use value. Okay, so can I just clone? When in doubt, use cloned. Nope. Can I really not clone this? Damn it. Nope. Oh, right. Let's do one by one, because I can't be bothered fighting with the borrow checker now. So what I'm going to do here is just collect it now. So I can see it. See what the values are being held. I want to see what the values that are being held are. Have you ever tried Elixir? No, I've got friends who do that. And they earn a ton of cash because it's very niche, I think. Right, so we have size 0. So we didn't actually get anything. Oh, hold on a second. This should have been inside, right? So it should have been here. Is that how you name a capture? Has parents, but name is outside of them. Oh yeah, thank you. I think we both figured it out. Right, so is that going to work now? No, still size 0. This is how you do a name, right? From the documentation, this is how you do a capture. There's a question mark here, though. Do I need the question? No, the question mark is 0 or more. What if I don't use the names? Then do I get the capture at least? Like the numbered one? So if I just remove that. Also needs to be... Oh, does it have to be a question mark in the name? That's what I was wondering. Yeah, so it does. You need a question mark in here. Thank you very much, VQ7. Again, you're saving me from day 1. Right, which means that our original code should be safe, hopefully. Right? So if we do this now, does it work? I have never seen it before. This whole naming thing, I think, is just a Rust edition, not sure. Yeah, I've never seen it before either. I've seen the brackets with captures, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, so it didn't need a question mark. It must be a Rust thing, for sure. I like it, though. It gives you a way to name things, and, yeah, the code that looks like this. So now we have all the valid instructions. We are taking too long to do this. So yeah, now we just have to apply the operations and sum them up, which is very easy, right? Because now all we got to do is find or valid mo instructions and operate and sum them up. That's basically it, right? So we've basically done these two things at once here, right? So valid instructions, iter so the sum is going to be that, and then we're also going to do a map onto all of them, A and B. It's going to pattern match these. A times B. And then we do the sum of all of them. That is it. Right? Right? Okay. Why some type annotations need to satisfy some? Okay, yeah. I guess sum of mo instead. Wait, no. What's the problem here? Cannot satisfy the sum of that. The following implement iterate sum A. So we have an iterator where we have I32s there, but we can't take the sum of it. Is that correct? So if I did this, that would be fine. But this doesn't satisfy the trait for sum, which is a little bit weird because these items are all I32s. So why can't it sum them? Cannot satisfy that. Type must be known at this point. This is so weird. Okay, yeah. Oh, I see. Never mind. That will do. My bad, yeah. I just didn't know which type to do the sum, you know. Again, I'm not sure why it needs to know that because all of these types are I32, so the compiler should have enough information to deduct the type here. But oh well. Yeah, and that's it. That's basically the print line that we put here. So print line. So day 3, part 1. And this is the sum of mo. Return OK. Run this guy. Oh, we have a hello world. But we do have a value that kind of looks suspicious. But we'll put it through anyway. What the fuck is try main? I explained this in the past. You can skip to the start of the video if you want to know, but basically it's a way of using anyhow, which is a error handling library to nicely cascade all the errors that you have. And try main is the actual main that we're trying to do, and then main is the place where you kind of bundle all the errors that your program may throw and then just like log them. It's just a pattern that I like to use. Again, it's a bit, yeah. You probably don't need to know that, to be honest. It's not part of the thing. Now, continue to part 2. Although it hasn't... Oh, let's see. Part 2. Another reason to be using Java. Yeah. If I use Java, the code would be like 3 times as long, for sure. Can you say... You're going to tell me, Soft, that you don't like how we solved the entire problem in literally 1, 2... I mean, I could have just like... put these in the same line. Let's be honest. 1, 2, 3. 3 lines of code here. 4, 5, 6. And 6 lines of code. Do that in Java, my friend. Do that in Java. I want to see you doing that in Java, in fact. And I want to review your code after you do that. But yeah, I mean, the rest of it is just bloat, basically. The solution is this function. The rest of it is just bloat. Just massive bloat. Anyway, part 2. As you can scan through the corrupted memory, you notice that some of the conditional statements is still intact. If you handle some of the uncorrupted conditional statements in the program, you might be able to get even more accurate results. There are 2 instructions you need to handle. Do instruction enables future mole instructions. Okay, the don't instructions disables future mode instructions. Only most recent do or don't instructions apply. Wait. At the beginning of the program, mode instructions are enabled. So it's as if you do a do in there. Okay, so now we actually need to know which ones are enabled and disabled. Right. I see. So we basically, like, this is easy. This is just a string manipulation thing now. Because what we want to do is, we have this, right? So let's say we have this. I'll teach you guys how to think of this nicely. We have this here. For the sake of argument, you can always prepend a do in here, right? So do, I guess. Yeah, you can always prepend that, right? So what you want to do is you want to find all the modes that come after a do, but not before a don't, right? So basically you find where the do is, and you find where the next don't is. So this is basically an opening bracket and a closing bracket. And you want to focus on the strings in the middle, right? Anything that comes after the don't, you don't care about until you find an extra do, right? That's what you want to do here. It sounds easy, to be honest. And again, it's probably something we can do. It's probably something we can do with regex, because then we can find all the points where that transition happens, right? So yeah, I don't see why we shouldn't do that. Matt will do anything but draw on a tablet. Yeah. Dude, I have a tablet and it's just like, I don't want to take my drawing tablet out. It's just, it's above here. It's above me on the shelf, but it's just so much like bloat work to actually get it set up on my computer. I am not going to do that. This is, you know, I am not going to do that. But one day, you know, if I'm doing any maths or anything like that, you might see me drawing on a tablet and teaching you some cool stuff, but not today. Today we're just handling strings. Yeah, I'm just thinking, so is that a path of least resistance? In other words, is that the easiest thing to do? I think it is, right? So we always prepend it. Wait, is this the same? Yeah, okay, so this is the same, right? So basically what we want to do is find all the do's. Don't. Yeah, we want to find all the text between a don't and a do, which can be a regex for sure. Yeah, let's test that out. So basically, if I catch this string, regex 101 again, I'm just gonna solve this with regex all around. What we want to do is we want to find a do, and literally anything, and we want it to be one or more, followed by a don't. Right? That's kind of what we want to do. Oh, but that will also include do's in there, so we can't do it. Okay. Okay. But now if we prepend it, right? So if we did have a do there. Do. Can I have do's inside do's? There you go. He didn't catch that one for some reason. Didn't catch that one. We want anything but do's and don'ts in there. Huh. We all fear that we won't understand, and you don't understand that drawing will boost your IQ points by 20%. Maybe. Top, I don't even know if you're being sarcastic or not, because I kind of agree. Yeah, I mean, I get you. I get you guys. I think we can do without a tablet on this one. I think we can do without a diagram. But if we don't get it, in like 50 minutes, we will certainly move to Excalibur at the very least. I promise you that. So, right. So that regex doesn't quite work because it will also match anything. I want to do lazy matching though, for sure. Yeah, I don't see why this didn't match that one. Like it should have gone from here, matching all of this, all of this, all of this, up to here, really. This is what we should have done. So why did it not? Identify this one? Multi-line, global, extended, single line, greedy, make quantifiers ungreedy. There you go. So if I can get an ungreedy quantifier, like the minimal one, then we will probably have the right stuff, I guess. Is there an option to set the level to ungreedy here? Because by default, this is doing greedy matching, right? So it's going to get the biggest possible match, I think. And we don't want that. We want the smallest possible match. We want the opposite. Damn it, I spilled herbal tea on my bed as I was dipping my fingers in it. Why were you dipping your fingers in your tea? What the hell, dude? Man's like dipping that finger in the tea just to taste it. Skill this you get to. Dude, yeah. So did this actually work? We have done here. I'm looking for the next do. Yeah, I'm not sure this is actually going to work, but we can definitely try it. Now that we've got the reject set up anyway, I'm looking to see if we have. We certainly have like don't a few times. Like we have don't here and also a don't there without any do's. Right? Does it work in their example? That's what I want to do. So if I did this, sure if they do in that. So it didn't find undo. So why is undo not being? Oh, and we have to do a don't at the end as well, I see. Okay, so if we did that, then their example would work. So we have to append a do and prepend a, sorry, we have to prepend a do and append a don't to the end, just to be certain, right? Which we can certainly do. We can certainly do. And the next thing we have to figure out is how to get regex in Rust to not do a greedy match. Regex Rust ungreedy. Or in fact, if I just search for greedy, what do we get? Do lazy? Lazy, yeah. Lazy is the keyword I'm looking for here. So avoid recompiling rejects, lazy static, one cell lazy. Does lazy ever get mentioned? Ungreedy or lazy? They noticed that my comments got deleted. Yeah, you might have to post that again and rephrase it a little bit and try not to be racist. That's a joke, by the way. Perf DFA. Performance features enables the use of lazy DFA for matching. The lazy DFA is used to compile portions of a reject are very fast. Maybe if I search for greedy. You give up the normal greedy match semantics of reject searches instead. Provide even more minimal experience by cutting Unicode performance. Rest rejects. What's the minimal match? Oh, someone's asked the same thing. The non-greedy works perfectly fine. It's just that you need to select dot matches, all options, reject spell. No, it's not what I want to do. Oh gosh, we are once again looking at documentation non-stop. This is not Rust. We're gonna have to use Stack Overflow. No, ChatGPT. So how to do a lazy, non-greedy rejects match for the pattern, and then we're gonna copy this. Where are we? In Rust. Let's see. You can create a lazy non-greedy rejects using the rejects by using this operator after the quantifier to make it lazy. Oh, okay. So is that it? Is that it? We just do that. So if I did this instead, no, that would do the whole freaking thing. What? I don't get it. So is this a Rust only thing? This is not standard. Stop a comment deleted. Coding stream, look inside, looking for help stream. Dude, I'm missing a lot of the messages. Damn it, spilled the herbal tea, got that one. So I can go back to optimal pointing performance of my index finger. Yeah, that makes sense. Also, if your comments are getting deleted because you're posting code, feel free to like post something on the whatever it is you're posting on the Discord, because I still have Discord on the other screen here, by the way. I know YouTube kind of like removes all the coding comments, which is kind of dumb in my opinion, because this is a coding stream, but it is what it is, right? With that in mind, it seems like in Rust you can kind of add, no, I don't believe in this. In Rust you can create a lazy non-greedy rejects match using the rejects crate by using this after the quantifier plus to make a lazy. For the pattern, the lazy version would look like this. Here's a step-by-step explanation. Okay. Does that work in regex 101 as well? Is that a normal regex thing? No, it's not. Anyway. Hello, Sop. Right, boys, we are stuck. We are stuck. Is there a prize for this one? I don't know. You get a shout out on the stream if you post the line that the code that actually worked. So I'm gonna check this again just to make sure that it does mention. Lazy rejects, which is not what we want. 0 or more ungreedy lazy. So it seems to be a Rust thing to just like this is equivalent to this, but ungreedy, right? So if we just put a question mark after that, it seems to be like a Rust crate thing. So maybe what we want to do is create another function. So get chunks, or get do chunks, right? So get do chunks, and we have the input, which is going to be a string. Anyhow, result. Maybe ChatGPT is correct, you know? Maybe I shouldn't doubt ChatGPT as much. What we want to do is kind of copy that whole thing, right? So we want to do the let new string or new input, which is going to be a copy of that. Or in fact, to our own string that we have here. Can I prepend or prefix or add or push? God, I feel like a fool. But how do I add how do I prepend string to string in Rust? this is definitely, this is a senior engineer, by the way. Prefix to on push string prefix. Insert string a 0, push to the front. We use insert string basically. Okay, right. Insert string and push string. That's it. So this will do what? This will add it to the end of the string. What we did want is it don't, right? So this is what we wanted. And we want a new input to be insert string or whatever, index 0. We want to do in here, right? That's what we wanted to do. And gosh, it's a senior engineer. I still have hope. Yeah, dude, you still have hope for sure. Right. So now our string should be appended, prepended with do and appended with don't for sure. And now we can run that regex. So let pattern. I'm going to copy it from here. This is going to be the pattern for us. Wait, what? Do. Yeah, so we have that. And we're going to do that. Right, so now we can do the same thing, right? So now we can... Yeah, now I just want to get the strings, really. I just want to get all the strings that are valid and append them. So really, what I want is to have a capture group in here, which is the valid string that I want. So this is the actual instruction, right? And yeah, we're going to use captures again. So let captures. I'm so glad that you guys pointed out the captures to me, because this has changed the time this thing takes, the amount of time this exercise takes. So captures. We're going to do re.captures iter in the haystack, which is our new input. Okay. So we're going to get the valid instruction string here, and we're not going to return a vector for sure. In here, what we are going to do is return a string. And now we do captures. We're going to map all of them to their string. So the capture here, capture, what did I call it? I called it instruction dot unwrap. Right? Right? Yeah, that's it. It's not a vector either. This is a string. Oh, this is the thing. I want to fold it. Yeah, I want to fold. In it, it's going to be that. Or in fact, Jesus. Is it A and B? Yeah, there you go. So I want to fold whatever's coming in at the end of the string for sure, right? Yeah. So I want to do A. Is it push string or whatever it is? A plus B. Does that work? Please tell me it works. I want to turn like every single capture that I've got, every single instruction capture into a string, and I want to like append all of them in the end and return that as a string. That's my my thing here. Working without captures would have caused less headaches. Maybe. But the thing is, working with captures gets rid of the do's and don'ts straight away. And I can just use this in this function here, the multiply pairs. That's my idea here. Are you okay? Dude, there's so much stuff I'm missing out on the chat. I'm sorry. I'm really focused here. I need to take a sip of a drink again. I'm gonna drink some milk, guys, as usual. Can't show that on stream, so feel free. I'm gonna catch up with the chat in the meantime. So keep your messages coming if you want to talk to me. Now's the time because I'm paying attention to the chat. Super tired. Have to go. Eyes are heavy. Dreams will flow. Sounds like an Eminem rap, to be honest. Pillow whispers. Rest your mind. Leave the worries far behind. Dude, that is that AI? Are you using AI to make some rhymes? Because I think you are. Moonlight hums a gentle tune, guiding me to slumber's moon. Super tired now, asleep in the quiet night's embrace, deep. That is beautiful, but I can't tell whether or not it's AI. You are using AI, dude. This is too good. If that's not AI and you've written it yourself, you should definitely not be a software developer. You should be aspiring to be a poet, to be honest. Yeah, it's AI. I fucking knew it. I fucking knew it. You can never trust anyone anymore. You know that meme where it says like never trust anyone, not even yourself? Yeah, that's how I actually view the world now. Because everything is just AI. Never trust anything you read online. Day 4 is so annoying to do with Rust. I can't wait for it. And maybe we'll do that this stream. I think I'm going to stream until like 11:30 today, so we got a long way to go still. Anything is so annoying to do with Rust. Yeah, anything. To be fair, if you don't know the Rust standard library, which I don't, it is annoying, yeah, because you'd just be like writing massive for loops to do some sort of like whatever calculation it was you could have done with one line of code. So then use Java. Then no. You keep saying it, but I'll never use Java. Use C++ for this. C++ for advent of code would be a mistake. Just put it that way. First of all, you'd be like spending one day figuring out your build system just to get the first hello world program running so you can get the first exercise out. There's no pattern matching. There is regex is insane in C++. Like don't even try. So, but it'll be quick though, tell you that. It'll be damn quick. Oh my god, that was me 6 days ago. Can you imagine? Right, I have drunk enough now, so let's do it. I'm gonna actually drink some water to counter the milk that I've just drunk. Anyway, coding with Matt. When does invisibility option run out? Right now, dude. Right now. And I hope you're ready. Yeah, here we're actually gonna use format, I guess, and we're just gonna do this and this, A and B. Damn it. And we're gonna now collect things. Oh, that's it, right? So we are. This is gonna fold into a string, yeah. So we're just gonna do that. Wrap this in an OK. And boom, Bob's your uncle. Now, does this work? That is a valid question, my friends. You're probably wondering that, aren't you? So does this actually work? We're going to find out. So this is part 2. We only care for what's inside don't, do, and don't. Strings lazily. Lazily? Yeah, that's how you spell lazily, right? Day 3, part 2. Right, so this is where I actually call that function. So get instruction string with the input for sure. And then we have do strings, do instructions. That should be a result of string. Question mark there. And I just want to see if this actually works, right? So for example, right, if I were to change this into a test file, so test.in, and in the test file, I had the actual input that they have in here, right? So if we have this in that test file, and instead of this gibberish, I included that. Test.in. I should have been here. Move. Yeah, so do we get the right stuff? So what I expect to see here in that test string is this, followed by this here. Right? So I expect mo, and I expect mo85. That's what I expect to see. Is that what we're going to see? We're going to find out in the next episode of today's stream. Right. Don't care about this function anymore. Right, so is that, did it work? So mo24, mo37, mo85. Is that what we expected to see? So we saw mo24, mo37. Yeah, so that should have been there. All of this should have been ignored, and mo85 is what we saw, right? Yeah. Okay. Right, works the first time. I like it. Yeah, now Bob's your uncle. We do the same thing here. I'm just going to copy and paste because I can't be bothered. Get multiply pairs. We're going to do it again here. So the input is not going to be our input. It's going to be the do instructions. That will be the input now. Let's sum multiply, and then day 2 part 2 is simply sum of mo. And yes, you may be wondering, why do you have the same variable twice? Because you can do that in Rust. You can redefine variables. It doesn't give a shit. And neither do I. So that's what we're going to do. Now, if I get it the first time, I'm going to have a drink. If I don't, I'm going to cry. Just going to fix some of the warnings here. I'm going to drink a water, that is. No milk this time. I just need to hydrate myself. Maybe I should drink more. Maybe I should drink more milk at work, because it's definitely working. Definitely making me cold faster. Alright, so we don't care about that. We only care about this one. Okay, yeah. 48. Is 48 what we expect? So in this case, we have 8 here. Yeah, 48 is the right one. Now, can we run it on the actual input instead? That's what we're going to find out. Where's my include string? There. They 3.in. Okay. If it works the first time, guys, and if I get the right answer, I'm expecting to see a like from each one of you on the stream, and also a heart emoji here thrown on the chat. Just letting you guys know, right? Don't expect any less. Okay. Now, it's definitely a smaller number than before, which is what we expect for sure. No, this is... Why is it not copying the value? No, it's too low. Never mind. You guys can unlike the video if you want. Don't please. Please don't. Yeah, but why did it not work? So do instructions. So it's probably because the regex is not working fine. That's my first guess, right? For sure. That is my first guess. Okay. So the first few errors, the first few things that we... So A5, 8, and A2, A9, 2. So where is that in our... So A5, 8. So what I expect to see here is 3A0905. I'm just going to put a mental model here of what I expect to see. So I expect to see A5A and A92. Then this one here, which is 3A0985. And there's no don'ts in here, so 340 and 11. Now, I don't expect to see any of this until I reach the next do, which is a little bit difficult to find for sure. Which is here, right? So do 19. There's no don'ts. There's no do's in here before that, right? Yeah, this is the last one. This is the first one, in fact. And then 19, 540. 19 and then 540. Right. And what do we actually get in the code? That's what we're about to see. Let's put that on the side here. Well, in fact, can I just put it always on the top? There you go, always on top. This guy. My computer is struggling, like it's not bringing. So 340, 11. 19, 540. Yeah, this is, I mean, at least the first case it worked. In the first case, it's definitely worked. Did it fail on the second case? Let's see. So do here. And if I search for don't, so this is what we're looking at. All of this. Which is quite a lot, actually. No, what? What the hell? Can I break the line? Break line? Is that a thing? Expand line. How do I get VS Code to like break lines instead of just going on and on forever? That's interesting. So wrap line, wrap line. Nope, that's not a thing. Yeah, it's getting boring now. Sorry, guys. We'll get to do something else soon, I promise. I just want to finish this one exercise. So don't. Dude, I'm actually going to have to Google this because I have no idea. VS Code, wrap lines, there you go. File preferences, control, that code preferences, settings, editor, word wrap. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. So if I go on the settings.json, editor, word wrap. Okay. Yeah, better. Easy for me to see. Thank you very much, Al. We got there in the end. So don't is here. And do's, where are do's? So it goes from here to here. And then after this do, we should have a don't somewhere. Here. So we have a don't here. So we go to 65. Basically, we go to dot dot, and then we've got 65, 8, 4, 5. And then the next one we should see, which is basically here, right? So we have a do right here. This. So 572, 572, 956, right? That's what I expect to see in the code. $19 up to 6584. 6584. Do we find that? We don't even have 6584 anywhere. Or have I missed it? 6584. Am I being blind or? Six five eight four. There's no way there's all of these between. There you go, 65. No, not the one. Yeah, there's definitely something wrong in the rejects. That's matching too much stuff, unfortunately. Maybe we look for an alternative way of doing this instead of rejects. Yeah, so 6584 is not even found there. Interestingly. Right, so how can we do this without rejects? We can split on do's for sure. Yeah, because if we think about it, we just want to find where the do's are. And then get all of the matches until there's a don't, right? That's what we want to do. So we want to split on wherever this happens. Yeah, it's going to be more painful. We should have done this from the start, to be honest. Yeah, we should have done this from the start without rejects. You were right all along, Al. Rejects is a headache in this case. So we're still going to need this code here. Now on the new input, splits the string into two at a given byte index. Split an iterator over substring slices separated by characters. The pattern can be a string or a slice. So what's the difference between a split and a split at? Divide one string into slices in two at index. No, yeah, we definitely want this split. So let's just take a look at this example here. Mary had a little lamb, split at the spaces. Yeah, this is kind of what we want. Let's do that instead. This will give me strings with don'ts in it. We need to ignore everything after that, right? So what we have here is we have the split of that. And each one of these we're going to map. We're going to map each of these strings into the beginning until the end, right? So we want to retain. Is retain a thing? Retain, repeat, no. Yeah, I know there's a function called retain in the standard library, but maybe we need retain until Rust retain until match or something. Right, let's see. So I'm trying to like keep the start of the string until we find something, right? That's basically what I'm trying to do. Or I could just find wherever let's find a thing. Returns a byte index of the first character of this string slice. So the pattern is a string, and then we can do don't like that, right? We can do this. I do want to do a substring as well on that. Right, yeah. Rust substring. There's got to be something, right? How to get a substring of a string. Okay, so we can just do that. Okay, that's fine. Easy then. Substring this until that. Does that work? Mismatch the delimiter that. And we have that. I guess this has to be an index, right? So range cannot be indexed by range 2. Is index a thing? Index. Performance of the indexing container. Panics if the index is out of bounds. No, that's not what we want to do. Find index. That's what I want to do. Rust find index of element and vector of character or substring and string. str find is the one. You would use find on the substring and add the offset back. Is that a find function in Rust standard library which searches for a substring starting at a given index in the string? No, this is not what I want though. What is find going to give me back? Is index a thing? So position, inspect, filter. Yeah, so how do I turn this find into an actual index? Like this will probably return me an iterator to the start of where don't exists within the substring. I want to find the index now. Let's use ChatGPT, I guess, right? Can't go wrong with this. So how to find the index of a substring in a string in Rust. I don't know how else to describe it. Find method provided that, okay. So some index find. Wait a second. So this is a range view, so I should be able to do unwrap. Nope, it doesn't. It doesn't let me. The size of values of type string cannot be known at compile time. Yes. Is that going to work? Finally, yeah. So I didn't realize that find is obviously some sort of like optional value, which is why I was struggling with it before. But yeah, we found all of them. They're mapped to a substring now. And we remove all of the bits that have don't after. The only remaining thing is to fold it into a string new, and we have the function a and b here, format a and b. This was actually so much nicer than the rejects. Crazy. If this works, I'm kind of happy, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you will. Let's debug it again. If it does, you're getting kudos for this one, dude, because I should have listened to you from the start. Jesus, never mind. What happened here? So unwrap, don't. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine. Unwrap or substring $len. There you go. That should fix it. I don't even need to look at the error to know what the error was, by the way. It's because some strings don't have the don't in it, right? So that is definitely the issue. Let's try again. Okay. Now, this to me looks like an even bigger number from what we had before. So I'm not sure if it's right. Definitely not sure if it's right. But let's try it anyway. Oh, it was right. Anyway, thank you, Al. That did actually help me quite a lot. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to have a little water break because I need to fill up my water bottle. And then when we get back, we're going to actually do some C++, right? I'm going to push this code later on when I've got the chance to. In fact, I might do it now, right? It seems to work okay. It seems to do what it's supposed to do. So yeah, why not? Let's just push it. And then we're going to get into C++ and module support in Clangd because I kind of want to get a project that I've got up to date with module support with Clangd. And that project is the emulator one, but we're not going to be doing a lot of the code for it. We're just going to be talking about the module support in Clangd 19. But yeah, I may go back to problem number, well, day 4, in fact. So we do want to add a cargo lock in there. Maybe day 3 as well. What do we have now, though? Ooh. We don't want this file here. AOC stream, woohoo! Hello, maybe Patrick. How is it going, dude? We've just completed day 3, and I'm still lacking behind a little bit. But we're going to do like a short break into C++, basically. And then we're going to continue doing AOC later on, if you're interested. I would recommend sticking on for C++ anyway, because you might learn something. So what did we do? We finished solving challenge for day 3. I'm massively behind in this. It's going to push to me. Right, guys, I'll be right back. I will probably just get some water. Just give me a minute and I'll be back. I'm looking forward to chatting to some of you. I'll see you in a bit. I love Clangd, but I really wish it had more refactoring features, like changing function signatures. I think it does. Maybe, yeah. Maybe I'll show you the video. So hang on for a second. Getting back into my room. Just gonna take a drink real quick. I am back now, guys. Sorry for the delay. Where's my camera? Jesus, I'm struggling with OBS now. Oh, great. He decided to pick the wrong camera now. For God's sake. Just give me a second. There you go. Hello. Welcome back. Right, so we pushed that. Let's switch the project. Let's go into C++ now. Close this one. Yeah, the project I'm talking about is... Okay, so we are upgrading. Right. Upgrading. Upgrading vscode, that is. Right. Let me close OBS so I can see the analytics of the chat. So this is for the C++ enthusiasts. If you're still on the stream, we're going to be talking about refactoring things into modules and getting the latest Clangd support on your VS Code, because it's not as straightforward as you may think. And you also need a few different Clangd options with VS Code, right? So the VS Code will like launch a Clangd LSP. So you need to set some certain a few particular options to support module now, and that's what I'm going to be talking about in this stream, as well as doing some of the work, if I'm honest, because yeah, I'm going to check out to main. So this should have been a lot different now. So emulator.c++ what? This is not. I did not mean to keep those changes. Git checkout. Emulator. Ooh. Okay, so now we should have no pending changes. This arithmetic and addressing modes thing can kind of go. Good. So what is the rundown of this project? So basically, this is a 6502 emulator that I started quite a few months ago now. I think something like 6 months. I never really finished it because I keep going in and out of this project. But that's, you know, something I'll talk about in the future. And I'm looking to finish it by the end of the year. And one of the things that I keep complaining about in every single stream that I do when it comes to C++, and this project in particular, was the lack of support for modules in the C++ IntelliSense on the VS Code extensions, right? So there are two main extensions here that I'm talking about. One of them is the Microsoft C++ extensions, right? Which kind of provides a basic LSP, so a language server protocol for C++, which essentially gives you IntelliSense and things like, you know, being able to rename functions, and that will be like renamed everywhere, and looking at your compiler commands and making sure that all the headers are found and whatnot. And there's also Clangd, which is my preferred LSP, right? So I actually use Clangd, and this is the one we're going to be talking about today. So if you don't have it yet installed and you're using C++, I highly recommend installing Clangd. And I also highly recommend using that by default. So if you go into your settings.json, there is this settings that you have to disable. So the C++ IntelliSense engine, you have to disable it because this will use the default VS Code C++ extension as your IntelliSense. You disable that. And that will, by default, if you've got Clangd installed, it just means that Clangd is going to be your sort of IntelliSense server now, right? So that's, you're going to be doing all your IntelliSense with Clangd. So just curious, is Clangd still way better than CPP tools like it was a few years back? Yeah, it's much better now, to be honest, because we have module support as well. So on top of just being better in general, it's, in my opinion, faster as well. Like the initialization of the server takes less time. IntelliSense, for me, tends to run faster than the CPP tools, which is, you know, CPP here. So yeah, I think so. You know, going back to this. So if you disable that and you install Clangd, you're going to be running Clangd by default, right? But what you also should do is you should install a Clangd language server here, which if you install it with the extension, is going to install your default distribution Clangd. And if, like me, you are on Ubuntu 22.04, that Clangd version, I think now is 18, if I'm not mistaken. So if we check an update, it will tell us here. So it's 18.1.3, right? This is fine if you're not using modules, right? It's completely fine if you're just doing C++ code, C++ 20 up to 23, but you're not using C++ modules at all. That is fine. If you are using modules, you should not be running Clangd 18. The one you should be running instead is Clangd 19. So for that, you will have to do a custom installation on your distro. In my case, I simply did a sudo apt get install Clangd 19 here, and that installed it for me, right? Now, this may not be available on your distro. You may or may not have to add the LLVM repository as a custom repository here on your apt or whatever package manager you have in your distribution. So that's something you're going to have to Google online. I'm not going to be, talking about here in the stream because it takes too long and it's different for every distribution anyway. But given that you have Clangd 19 installed, you should be able to run a where is Clangd 19, and you need to copy this path here. So this is the path to the Clangd executable. Why am I saying this? Because you are, in the Clangd extension on vscode, you can set the Clangd executable to use in here, and this is how you can actually use Clangd versions that are not the default. So in my case, I'm using 19, which is above the default one, which is 18. So that's how you do it. You do a clangd.path in your settings.json and set it to whatever Clangd executable you have for the version that you want, right? On top of that, if you are running modules as well, there is a very, very special flag that you have to set here, which is the experimental module support, right? The experimental module support is what you need to set for Clangd 19 to actually be able to work with modules and for you to be able to get IntelliSense working fine with modules, right? This is what you're going to need to do. If you don't do this, modules will not work. And on top of all of this, you also need to make sure that you have compile commands.json in your workspace folder, because Clangd is going to be looking for this file at the root directory of your CMake lists, basically. So I recommend also setting cmake.copy compile commands.json to your workspace folder here. So what this does is every time your cmake configure step creates this compile commands, for those who don't know, this is just like a database of how every single target is built. So cmake is just like essentially creating a file that's calling your compiler, right? With a few flags and saying where to find the files, which files to compile, and whatnot. And this is all added here. So you can see that I have every single target in my program. It has a compilation command in here, right? So you need to generate that in the root directory. That's it. And that's it. That's pretty much it. This is all you need for modules to now work with Clangd. So in fact, I should be able to look at my Clangd here, and you can see that there is no major errors. There might be one or two errors here because I'm using a version that's not technically supported by vscode's Clangd extension, but I get full IntelliSense on this whole thing, right? So if I go to one of my tests, for example, I can now do an F12 in my emulator CPU here. It's parsing the file. It may take some time. The first time it's kind of analyzing the file. You can see here on the top that it's actually scanning things, and you can see on the output that it's actually looking for that. But it works in the end, right? So once it creates that database, it's a lot easier for me to kind of go back and forth between definitions. This was certainly not happening before, by the way. So before, every test was using modules, and I was importing the emulator module, which is the only module I've got in this project, and I would get 0 IntelliSense with Clangd 18. If you like using modules in C++, if you want to try it out, I would highly recommend installing Clangd 19. Otherwise, you're just coding blindly and you're not going to be able to use IntelliSense and whatnot. This is in a shell, this is pretty much what you need to do to get modules working, right? Now, there is some other CMake stuff you need to do as well. I'm not sure if I talked about in the channel before, but you have to set OPC make in a particular way to actually run with modules. So for example, the target emulator here, which comprises of the emulator.cpp, which actually has the export module code, you have to declare it in this way. So you have to create a file set, which is, a CXX modules file set. That's pretty much it, right? In fact, it's actually missing the type. Type here is a CXX modules, I think. But if you do that, things, Bob's your uncle, you're going to be able to work with modules and whatnot. In fact, let me remove that because that's obviously not going to work. Wait, what? Type CXX modules, file set modules. Wait, what? What's going on here? I somehow broke the CMake, and this is the standard, I guess, experience you have with CMake, right? Anyway, but what do I get out of all this? So if I go onto my code now, I'm getting a bunch of Clangd tidy warnings and Clangd and helpers for me. So for example, straight off the bat, I can see here that there's a trailing return type needed for this function because Clangd tidy by default is using the modernize use trailing return type, right? This might come to actually what you said, Klaus. So it wasn't, you don't really have that option to quick fix it. Oh, it does. Oh, there you go. So there was an option to quick fix that, but not an option to quick fix the returning type, right? So that was a quick fix. So it's just much easier for me to actually see the warnings that I'm getting, much easier to actually refactor the code, right? So we're going to do some of that now because some of the work has to be manual. There are no quick fixes for everything. In fact, there might be here. Okay, yeah. So there you go, Klaus. Fixed. So you can actually change the returning trail type, the trailing return types in here. So yeah, this is pretty much what I wanted to talk about today. It's just something that I kind of found myself working in a few days ago, and I actually managed to get this whole thing to work by reading like endless like Stack Overflow threads and guides online, and it does work in the end. It just takes some time for you to set everything up. So let's do some of this work just so we can kind of pull away a little bit from Advent of Code, and then we're going to go back to Advent of Code for sure. I'm going to work on this for like maybe 50 minutes, as well as chatting to you guys on the chat. So in fact, if anyone's got any questions regarding C++, now is the time to ask. I'm here for you. So use a trailing type return. We're just going to modify all of these, I guess. There's going to be a lot of like trailing return types for sure. What is this here? This might actually be a logic error though. Declaration of function pointer must be imported from module profiler before is required. So where is this defined? It's here. See, IntelliSense is working perfectly, which for this project I'm really happy with. So let's read this. So there's obviously a mistake here somewhere. So if and if build profiler, which is like a flag that comes from my CMake, is an option, it's a build option. If that is defined, I define this structure. And I also define enabler profiler. Else, we define it to nothing. But is that right? So if and def, end if. Okay, I don't know what is wrong here, but I'm gonna wrap this properly. Okay, that's better now. Did it solve this issue though? Declaration function profile must be imported. No, this is I don't know what's wrong here, if I'm honest. But build is gonna disappear now. This is why we find a build issue now, right? Okay, it seems to be building. Also, this project takes way too long to build for something that should not. I still don't know what this error means. So the declaration of function profiler must be imported from module profiler before is it not been imported? Fine. So import. Oh, I see. So this is it. I'm hoping that I can do this. Oh, this is a double include. That's fine. Has this now disappeared? Let's build it again and see. Chat is a bit dead now. I'm not sure if it's still working. Yeah, it's still. Yeah, launch a test here. There you go. Sometimes my YouTube chat just stops working entirely and I have to like refresh it for some reason. Now this issue is still here. So build profiler is there. So if define build profiler, we import profiler, which is what it should be. So if defined profiler, we have another if def here for that as well. Macro argument should be enclosed in parentheses. That's not a macro argument though, is it? Okay. Yeah, we're going to leave this error aside because I have no idea. I'm just going to keep like editing the other warnings that I see. Quick fix. I love quick fixes. They're so nice. These are all going to be like trailing return types for sure. Use trailing return type for this function. Yeah. Anyone else? This one here as well. So it's interesting that it doesn't ask you to use a trailing return type if it's a void function though. Even though for consistency, I would say you should probably do the same. So yeah, there you go. That's probably what I would say is more consistent. As I said, all of these will be like trailing return types that I now get a warning for because I have Clangd tidy running in the project. I'm not sure if it makes it more readable, but it certainly makes it more like Rust-like, doesn't it? So what do you guys think about trailing return types in C++? Do you use it? Do you prefer it to normal? Oh yeah, we have auto here because we have a static cast already. The same thing for this one. That should probably be a no discard as well, to be honest. No discard auto, right? Right? What's the problem here, though? Okay, yeah. I may be getting more warnings now for sure because I'm adding no discards everywhere. So no discard in C++, for those who don't know, is basically a hint that says, tells the compiler to make sure that whatever's being returned from the function isn't ignored. So if it's like the result of a calculation, and the only purpose for a function is to calculate something, it should be no discard, right? Because otherwise you shouldn't be calling the function at all. Is there no way to fix all warnings at once? Good question. I don't know. Let's see. Quick fix. No, I can't really find any options here in Clangd. Auto fix. No auto fix available. I think you have to go line by line, unfortunately, which is painful, I know, but it's not the end of the world. In fact, let me create a macro for this because I'm doing this a lot, right? So if this function was here, what I want to do is record to L. I'm going to go to the start, no discard, and that. And then we stop recording, right? So now we can do no discards everywhere. L there, and then we quick fix as well. In fact, to be faster, quick fix first. L there, no discard. Okay. This should also, like, the quick fix could also be replaced by a macro, to be honest, if I'm smart enough in Vim, but I'll probably get it wrong and that'll be definitely embarrassing in front of the stream, right? In front of like 10 people watching me for some reason. Just gonna go line by line and do all of these. Anyway, Clouds, if you do know a way to fix all of them at once, mate, let me know because this is definitely annoying. Oh, come on, quick fix. I have so many functions here. The next step for this is basically to take all of these similar functions. So for example, there are arithmetic operators here, which emulate some of the opcodes in the emulator, or the 6502 assembly, and put them all into like their own submodule. That is something I'm going to do some other day, because it requires me changing the build system, and that's going to be too much for this PR for sure. With auto, no discard. Use a trailing type of this function. Apply the no discard. But you guys can see like how kind of quick the language server is at the moment. Like my computer is not the best computer for running, I guess, multiple language servers at the same time. And right now I've got at least Rust and Clangd running at the same time here, and it's working fine. Like, and I've got OBS on the side as well, which is probably taking the most of my CPU, if I'm honest. So it just goes to show you how good Clangd is if you're not using it yet. And this is something that the people watching in the future should probably think about if you're not using Clangd as your main language server for C++, because it is really good. I can't stress it enough. It's really, really good. Dude, this is going to take forever, which is kind of annoying, but necessary. If I could also turn all of these language server commands that I'm using here into a Vim macro, it would, like, Rust Analyzer is quite the memory hog. I had to upgrade RAM so it would stop going and swap memory. Really did, yeah. I mean, yeah, it was a problem for me when I was working for, well, the same company really, but in the Rust project. we had something like 10 crates, and some of the crates all depended in one of the crates. So you did like one change in one of the types, and you take like 10 seconds for it to reanalyze the entire project. And yeah, it is, for me, that's the only problem I've had with it. In my little projects that I've got here on the stream, it's never been a problem, to be honest. But that's only because I've got like projects that are up to 10 files big, and they're all like separated within one or two different modules. I never really had that much of a heavy stuff on this, but unfortunately I can't use my work machine for streaming purposes, otherwise the stream would be a lot better. But I don't want to get fired because I'm using a work machine when I'm not supposed to, really. But that machine is way more powerful than this one, for sure. Okay. Have you guys ever written an emulator out of interest? I want to know which one of you have attempted to write an emulator, or at least read the source code for one. Because I was actually very surprised at how easy it was for me to get going with 6502. It's probably one of the simplest languages to write for, to emulate anyway. But in theory, any machine instruction family is easy to emulate, because all you have is like memory bytes that you should interpret and then do some sort of operation and change a state machine somewhere, which is the CPU, right? So it definitely taught me a lot on how emulators work and how easy it is to do, but it doesn't mean it's easy to complete. It's very cumbersome work, so I basically have to read instruction description, sometimes even read the schematics of something to make sure I'm emulating something exactly the way it should behave in the hardware. So it's just really, really kind of cumbersome work that you have to go back to every day for like a good 5 months at least for something like a simple language. Maybe if you're working on this full time, you can probably do a whole 6502 emulator in like a week, but I'm not working full time on this, which means I only do like an hour of my day when I have time for it anyway. And it's taken me 5 months so far, and I still haven't completed it. But yeah, either I would run one LSP for the entire project or many LSP per crate. One LSP for the entire project was so slow, I had no choice. Yeah, I can imagine, dude. I mean, it's still, Patrick, when you compare that to running something like Visual Studio. If you've ever worked with Visual Studio in C++, that shit gets really, really slow as well. Like, I remember on my first job where I was basically working full-time as a Windows developer, and when I was working at Microsoft, like, it would take so long to get a project started, especially when you're working with big projects, which is what you tend to have anyway in big companies. It's insanely slow. So just having the ability to have different language servers where things are done more efficiently is amazing. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy a full-time job working with Visual Studio for C++ kernel development or something like that, because it's got to be so slow. Yeah, Visual Studio kind of aids my project. Yeah. Sometimes I need to stop reading the comments out loud because I'm going to get banned one day. YouTube censors everyone, dude. It's crazy. Oh, no. Yeah, but Visual Studio for me is kind of long dead. I don't think I'm going to go back to it ever. Unless, again, I get a job working for a company that only does Windows development or kernel development. But yeah. I'm kind of happy I don't have to work on MS build systems. Yeah, me too. Me too, dude. No longer have to. But you never know what the future holds, so you might have a really good offer in a company that does MS builds, right? And you can't say no to. So keep your mind open is what I can say. Keep your mind open. I'm kind of like really looking forward to Christmas holidays as well. I'm not sure if you guys feel the same, but like it feels like when it gets to the 1 or 2 weeks away from Christmas holidays, everyone is kind of not as productive as they should be, which I try not to be, by the way. I try to be as productive as possible, but the last few days I've had like a few issues where I needed other people to kind of pair with me, and then everyone's just offline all the time, and yeah, or busy with something else, and it's kind of annoying, really. So I'm looking forward for the Christmas holidays, and I'm looking forward to starting the new year afresh and kind of being able to focus again, right? Because once you have your holidays, once you have your 2 weeks off, or in some cases you only have like the Christmas days off and a few days, that should be enough for you to get your mind back and definitely focus more at work, which is, yeah. I am definitely looking forward to doing more streams though. You get a mental reset for the holidays. Yeah, indeed, indeed, Carlos. Are you off as well, Carlos? Because you work in sales, right, dude? Are you still working in sales? And if so, how are the holidays? Are they kind of generals? Like, do you get like a week or 2 weeks off? Who knows? Because I hope you did it. You also deserve it. I'm sure that you work harder than the engineers. You actually got to deal with people, which is I can't even think what it's like doing that as a job, dealing with people and calling them all the time. And yeah, I'm not against programming in any language, to be honest, even Java or Ruby, but I would definitely prefer C++ or Rust. Yeah, me too. I'm not massively against anything. I joke about not doing Java on the stream because it's boring. And the truth is, Java is a boring language for streaming purposes. Like, no one's doing any fun content in Java. But I'm not opposed to it. I mean, if I ever got a really good job where the tech stack had Java in it, I would certainly learn it or relearn it. After all, if you're a good engineer, you can learn any language, right? Yeah, it's still in sales. I get 2 weeks off. That's amazing, man. That's more than me. I get 1 week off, but that's because I have days and I book them off. But yeah, I'm certainly looking forward to it. I'm gonna try and see some friends. I'm gonna try and definitely spend time with family. It's been like an amazing past month for me. I was actually in Brazil. I'm not sure if you guys have figured, but I was away for 3 weeks from the stream, and I saw some of the family I left behind in Brazil, and also visited places, traveled around, and it basically made me think that I should definitely not be working. But unfortunately, we all got bills to pay, right? So we got to go back to work and start again. Save more money so you can do it all again. That's my motto. Not really a vacation because I'm helping out in another department for a week. Then I'm trying to get a side project up and running by the new year. Yes, dude. A side project as in like a coding project or something else. Because if it's a coding project, man, you should definitely stream it. You'll be surprised how much motivation that gives you. And you get a lot of help as well from people. You certainly get a lot of help from random people online. And you make friends with them, which is the best thing, right, Carlos? It's what we are now, dude. Online friends. But I'll tell you what though, like streaming definitely makes me want to code a little bit more, because it turns a boring thing, which is basically coding and typing things into the screen, into something a little bit more interactive. Like I'm talking to you guys where we're just chatting sometimes and solving problems together most of the time, and that's definitely better than just doing it on my own. Dude, we're nearly there, nearly there. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Yes, we've done, I think. Right. Oh no, just one more. Wise and line. Okay, so this is This should just be that, I guess. Okay, right, let's build this and make sure that we haven't broken anything. Thinking that there will be some warnings regarding ignoring the no discard errors, but we're for sure gonna solve them. Did I be so thirsty tonight? What the hell? I've been drinking, well, I've had a drink, and as well as that, I've been drinking water on the side. So yeah, I don't know why, just so thirsty. Anyway, we've done it. So that was, I think that was literally all of the warnings that we had. I still get this here, but export module should be at the top, but I can't have it at the top because all of the import and maybe this import should go here, right? Can I do the import here? Yeah, no, maybe not. Yeah, all the includes have to be at the top before the module. Okay, that seemed to solve a lot of my problems. Okay, I don't know what I did. I don't know why I solved the macro error I had up down there. Okay, we formatted everything. And we're ready to push, right? That was the easiest PR I've ever done. So what we have here is Clangd 19 modules spawn. Yeah, there you go. Easy peasy, yeah, indeed. I've actually been thinking about streaming it on this squad. I think it should, dude. Yeah. Yeah, coding projects I'm about. Don't know if I missed that message entirely. I can probably deploy it by this weekend, but I want to make sure that it's in good enough. That it's good enough. Yeah, I'll tell you what, dude. I've spoken about this so many times on the chat. Don't wait until your program or your project is good enough to release. Just release it. Just release it, man, because the amount of people who start a project and never finish it because they want to reach perfection, that number is huge. But you find that successful people, especially when it comes to engineers, successful engineers, you know, they tend to do the minimum stuff, release it, and then improve upon it as you go. So that's something that I can definitely recommend. Even if your project is not amazing, just release it. You know, maybe don't release it to the world if you don't trust it. But I definitely say, you know, release it, get a few friends to try it out, give you some feedback, and then keep improving on it, and make sure that you've got that feedback loop because that's what's important. Andrew Riley, my project is taking long enough with it being solo dev project. I suspect that I would get way too distracted if I tried to stream it as well, and I would take even longer. You'd never know, Andrew. I mean, I think the same sometimes, but then when I start coding a very, very difficult project or the problem that I'm trying to solve, and then there's like 1 or 2 people out of 10 people watching you that are actually paying attention, and they give you that like one extra leg, one extra help that you need to get it fixed quickly. It just makes my day. So you can see that in today's stream. Actually, we were doing some of the advent of code, and I got stuck on one of the rejects things that I wrote. And then Al, I'm not sure if Al was still here, but he suggested not doing it with rejects because it might be easier. And if I did that from the start, I would have like done it much faster. But in the end, it was the right solution to do, and it just fixed all of my problems, and it worked. So you might find it helpful to stream and have other people like helping you at the same time. Matt Schramm. By the way, welcome both of you, Andrew and Matt. I've not seen you guys before, and Patrick as well. So I hope you enjoyed the stream. Matt, was it giving the warnings std line because it forces std flush? No, it was giving the warning because you should use new line instead of std line. Just because of I don't know why. I think there's some performance reasons behind it. If you want to force the flush, then use std end line. But in my case, I wasn't bothered, so I just followed through with the suggestion. But I suppose it's because if you use end line, if you use a new line character instead, things are more performant because you're not forcing the flush there. I mean, I can only deploy it, but there are certain things that feel like you need to be functional for good UI. Yeah, I mean, if you don't have the basics done, then yeah, definitely get those done first. But what I'm trying to say is that get the basics done first, release it, and then polish it. Anyway, I think I'm gonna call off the stream here, guys, and I appreciate massively all the messages. I appreciate all the support that you guys gave me today. I hope you enjoyed some of the shenanigans we did with AOC earlier, and I am gonna try and get some more streaming this weekend, maybe tomorrow. I'm gonna try and do some more streaming tomorrow. I need to catch up with AOC for sure, because like I'm way behind now. We're on day 6 or 7, and I'm on like day 4 still. I'm working on the bulletin board for events in my town with an admin dashboard. Sounds really cool, dude. I can't wait to see the tech stack for that. But yeah, appreciate all the support, guys, and I hope that you enjoyed the video too. Don't forget to give a like before you drop out, before I drop out as well, because it does help me out quite a lot, especially like tomorrow. But with that in mind, I'm going to get some sleep, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.